What I wanted to talk about briefly today over a few minutes was when your business should and should not borrow money. Now, clearly, in the last year, with the global pandemic and the government loan schemes, there's been an awful lot of money lent to businesses who are struggling to show the viability of being able to repay it because they don't know when they're going to reopen. So I'm going to leave that slightly to one side because borrowing money to survive, to be fair, is a legitimate reason to actually borrow money for your business. But I'm going to be slightly more traditional in my approach here and just go through when your business should borrow money and when it probably shouldn't. So the most traditional way, or two real traditional ways of actually borrowing money, reasons of borrowing money for your business. One is to buy an asset. And I would always say that's a fantastic thing to do. So if you're looking to buy an asset for your business, that may be a property where you can borrow money over 15, 20, 25 years. It may be a vehicle. It may be something agricultural. It may be big bit of kit, bit of machinery for the business. All those things are great reasons to borrow money because they add value to the business. They allow the business to continue to grow, and they are an asset in the business, and generally they will depreciate over a period of time if it's a bit of machinery or a vehicle, or if it's a property it may well appreciate over the period of time, as well as offering a home for a business. So a great reason to borrow money there. The other real reason to borrow money for a business is everyday working capital. Now, I don't mean you just borrow £100,000 and you don't know where it goes, which a lot of people have done during the pandemic. I mean properly financed working capital. So you need extra funds to take on a new contract, extra staff to run a machine, or you're a business that offers credit terms of say 60, 90 days. So you won't get paid for a period of time, which is the nature of the business, but you still need to make your mortgage payments, your staff payments, your tax payments on a monthly basis. So that will require an element of borrowing. Now, you may borrow that from your clients by taking credit from them, or you may do it via a lender, via a credit finance facility, an overdraft facility, which is probably the most common facility, or a factoring or invoice discount facility. And that's all perfectly legitimate ways to borrow money as long as you stay within your agreed limits. The only other real ways are that I would encourage customers to borrow money are startup and acquisitions. So starting up a business, you're light on capital, you generally need money either for stock or for working capital or whatever it may be. Starting up, either injecting money yourself as a loan into the business, borrowing from friends, family, or a startup loan or grant, completely legitimate as long as it's forecasted correctly. Or an acquisition. And we see this quite a lot in the service industry, be it estate agents, IFAs, etc. The quickest and easiest way of growing is to actually purchase one of your competitors. You buy their book, you bring it on board, and the monthly loan repayments are serviced by the income that's generated there. So they're the real reasons you should borrow money for your business. When you shouldn't borrow money for your business, well, when there's no tangible benefit. So if you're borrowing, figure I mentioned earlier, £100,000 for your business, and actually the only reason is you're keeping the business going on life support, well, despite what's happened in the last 12 months, that's not a great reason to borrow money for your business, because it's likely to end up piling what we call good money on bad money. One of the first things to teach you at the bank when you're looking at lending money is don't throw good money after bad. At times in life, you have to cut off and just say, right, we're going to cut our losses and we're going to move on. And there's definitely a time when it's not to borrow money. Something I see often are businesses, especially directors, borrowing money to fund their lifestyle. So if there's been a bad year for a business and they've made, say, £10,000 profit, and they usually make £100,000 profit, but the director's still taking out £80,000 to fund his lifestyle. He's got a nice house, a nice car, likes to go to the Maldives every year. Well, that's not a reason to lend a business money. If he wants to borrow money personally to fund his own lifestyle, that's absolutely fine. But a business should not subsidize a director's lifestyle at all. It's a very bad reason to borrow money and will ultimately lead to problems. And the other real one I want to mention is borrowing too little or too late. So it's very easy to avoid borrowing money, and a lot of businesses pride themselves on not borrowing. But actually, there are legitimate reasons, as I mentioned earlier, when a business would need to borrow money to grow, to survive, to take on new contracts, whatever it may be. And you should plan for that by cash flow forecast with your accountant or a business advisor to make sure that you have the right level of funding in place at the right time for your business to grow. Think of borrowing money as a bit of a sort of life support system in a positive way, where it actually helps you to grow and survive. It's food for the business, plant food for the business, rather than something you have to take on only in the worst possible circumstances. Borrow at the right time, at the right rate, with the right product, and it will help your business thrive and grow.